for freedom in the history of our nation. In a sense, we've come here to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was a payee. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men, as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given black people a bad check. A check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vault of opportunity of this nation. So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. Black lives do matter. But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. I understand the feeling of those protesters in the streets after the 2016 election. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. Like the First Lady Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. We must not allow our creative protest to sink into physical violence. Again and again, we must rise to the great heights of meeting physical force with soul force. So go back to Flint, go back to Detroit, go to the slums and ghettos of our Michigan cities, knowing that somehow this situation can and will be changed. Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every township, from every community to city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews, Christians, and Muslims will be able to sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.